once you've taken off the tarps for the pool, this is what you can expect. Now there's always going to be a little bit of dirt on the tarp, and that'll create a sediment, which I don't know if you could see it like this, but there's a little bit of green in the side of the pool from your winterizing kit. There's a little bit of sediment on the bottom, which makes it a darkish color, not very appealing. So you're going to want to lay the tarp out, or the pool cover out on the pool deck, let it sit and dry, and we are going to pump out the pool and prime our pump and get some circulation going, and then clean it. To open the pool at the beginning of the summer, spring, the first step will be to turn on the circuit breaker. There's a little legend here, 17 A and B. We're going to follow it here, corresponding to 17 A and B. And as we can see, the circuit is this way off. We're going to flip it on. As you come over your skimmer basket, open it up, you'll see the antifreeze, food safe antifreeze in the skimmer basket, and you'll also find a cover over the skimmer. What we're going to do is pop this off and let the water drain in like so. We're going to take the cover and we're going to keep that for next winter. Once we've opened the skimmer basket, we're going to take this handy little tool, which is in our pool house, and we're going to go down and undo. Well, first we're going to take some duct tape out, and we're going to unscrew. There's two located on the bottom. One which opens the skimmer to the lines, and one which has a bottom drain to the bottom of the pool, which we can't see right now, which drains the pool for summer closing or winter prep. The next step before doing anything else is to take a wrench and remove both eyelets, one on either side of the pool, one here closest to the pool house and one on the far side of the pool, with this wrench. Remember, lefty loosey, righty tighty. And once you've released it a little bit, you'll be able to untighten with your hand. And we're going to go to the other side and perform the same procedure. Now that we have both sets of plugs removed from the skimmer basket and from either side of the pool, we're going to install these eyelets. And the way they're going to work is they're going to pop in this way, so front and back, and then we're going to place this over top and hand tighten with our blue tool. Once both of our eyelets are installed and both sets of plugs are removed, we're going to put our skimmer basket into the skimmer and close the skimmer basket just to reaffirm that that stage of the process is complete. Now we're ready to go over to the pool pump. Turn on the light switch, and I've got this bucket of water in a container, and we're going to prime the pool pump to make sure that a little bit of water in the pool pump allows it to flow more efficiently. And I'm going to pour it into the top of the basket, which is this lid here. I'm going to gently roll it off, pour some water in, and then we're going to prime it. Adding water to the pool pump at the beginning of the season will help the pool pump initiate itself without wearing down the mechanical components too much. You're also going to make sure that this O-ring is around to create a good seal, and we're just going to screw that back on to hand tightness. Now we're ready to turn on our pump. I'm going to go and flip our breaker to on, and we should hear the pump engage. Just like that. You want to give it a few seconds for the pump to engage. as it begins sucking the old water that we poured into it out and sucking the cool water into the pump and filtering it through. To tell if the water is circulating or not, you can put your hand on the line and you'll start to feel the pressure of the water seeping through, and the full basket here of the pump should start filling very shortly. What we're going to do now that we've established a whirlpool flow is we're going to turn off the pump and we're going to flush the system with the backwash. We're going to change it to the backwash setting. As you can see here, we're currently in the process of doing the backwash and we have a little bit of pressure building. I can also feel water pumping through our backwash line. Now that we've successfully backwashed the system, we're going to turn it to filter setting right here, and we're going to allow it to conduct normal business by, once again, turning on and off pressure. And our pump is working fantastic. Now that the pool is up and running and we can see jets water coming out and the pump is functioning correctly and pushing water through and filtering it, and your filter is on the filter setting, what we're going to do is we're going to vacuum out all this sediment. What I have is the hose connected to the brush, and what we're going to do is we're going to put this hose into the suction which is going to begin our suction. And we'll hear the pump change. And now we'll be able to notice a difference when we touch the bottom. You'll feel a suction. And you should be picking up sediment now, like so. And we're slowly going to wand back and forth till all of this is gone. See you folks in a half hour. So for the beginning of pool season, what you're going to need is you're going to need some alkalinity pH testing strips. You're going to need an algicide, and you're going to pour the full contents of that into the pool. You are going to need some chlorine, granulated chlorine, and you're going to need some chlorinated pucks. What we're going to do to start is we're going to take this chlorine scoop, and we're going to take 4 scoops of this chlorine and disperse it in the deep end of this pool to ensure that we initially shock the pool and kill any potential bacteria that could be growing in it. Then we're going to wait 24 hours. We're going to test it with a pH strip, and we're going to pour that algicide, the entire container of that algicide in there, to start on a good note for the season, to stop any algae from growing early in the season. Then we're going to continue a regular cycle of chlorine pucks, put those in the chlorinator basket, and let those empty as they need to through the chlorinator. And we're going to keep those pucks, always a few pucks in the chlorinator at all times, to ensure that a stable amount of chlorine is going in there. And then we're going to test the pH on a regular basis every 2 days to begin the pool cycle, and every 2 to 3, 4 days after that to maintain the levels. If you're having a little bit of blue murkiness in your pool like this after you've shocked it, you probably have low alkalinity, in which case we're going to put a good couple pounds of baking soda in there and wait about 12 hours, test it with a strip, and ensure that our alkalinity is where it should be. It's always important when you're putting baking soda in the pool that you put it in sparingly and wait a decent amount of time, because pH is easy to have go up, but it's difficult to have to bring it back down. So that's just a note for yourselves. After that, your pool season should be on the go. Note that if you're running the filter and pump for the first time and you're skimming out a lot of leaves and particulate and sediment from the bottom, that you're going to have to remove the pump basket, because you'll note that it gets pretty dirty, pretty full of leaves. Now this isn't too bad. And you'll notice because the pump pressure will go up pretty high, higher to amounts higher than normal. So what you're gonna do, turn it to the side and just bang it gently and get all the particulate out. And that is considered to be a pretty clean skimmer basket for running purposes. Then we're simply going to put that skimmer basket back in, making sure that the straw is facing upwards, because that is what gives you pressure, and that the valve is facing outwards. Then you're going to close that, screw this back on, the hand tight, and then you're going to resume operation. So once we've taken off the tarp of the pool, from the winterization to the spring-summer opening, we're going to hang it on the fence like this and let it dry out and air out for probably about a day or so. It's a relatively cloudy day today. It doesn't matter if it's particularly sunny or not, as long as it's warm and it has a chance to dry out. You definitely don't want to store it wet, because you're going to get mold and mildew issues. As for the leaf catch, what I'm going to do is I've spread it out along the driveway, and I've got my leaf blower handy, and I'm just going to blow off as much of the debris as I can, and then fold it and store it away for the summertime, for the winter, so that in the fall when it's kind of chilly, I'll be able to have a nice clean tarp to go on the top of the pool, and then the leaf cover to go on top of that to stop falling leaves from getting into the pool over the winter. In the event that you have a breach in your hose, or a hole or a break in your hose, you can buy these black connectors. They're ribbed on one end and flat here where you put your clamp. So the way to do it, to attach these, is to put the ribbed end into the backwash one part of your hose, screw it righty-tighty until it comes flush with half of the knob. Then you're going to do the same thing with the other end of your hose, and you're going to put the clamp over top of it and tighten it securely on both ends. When complete, your repair should look like this. We have two clamps on either side holding the hose into place, and both ends are nice and flush, and now you will no longer have a leak.